Now, O'Reilly's gone, fired by Fox News. Another question here is, where does he go? Option one, cave. Okay. Option two, another TV station.
Has CNN already attempted to hire him?
No, but the thing is, I would say that the chance of him getting hired by another network is really low, given these significant allegations against him, given the fact that you know that you will lose advertisers immediately. And that's one of the things that they care, of course, most about. Right next to corporate parents, advertisers is the second biggest priority for all these television stations. On the other hand, CNN will hire almost anybody, right? I mean, they've hired the most grotesque people from the Trump campaign. It's New York Times even. I mean, guys who are totally make up stuff about climate change. They're like, yeah, but I mean, I need conservatives, so I'm gonna, even though I'm the New York Times, I'm gonna let people lie on my pages just to prove how neutral I am. So will someone want to prove how neutral they are by hiring this monster? Maybe, unlikely, but maybe.
And I think you have to remember that what seems ridiculous right now, the idea of CNN hiring him, like we've seen examples where somebody goes away for like 6 months. And then it's like, oh, I kind of only vaguely, fuzzily remember they did something bad, and now they're. I mean, again, I'm not comparing him to what he did to Brian Williams. But Brian Williams sort of went away for like, what was it, like a year, or like
maybe less,
maybe less than a year. It was like, oh my God, it's terrible. Brian Williams is like the worst thing in the world. You can't trust anything he says. Then it's like 8 months later, it's like he did something bad, but now we'll give him the 11 o'clock slot. So the question is like 6 months from now, when you haven't heard anything from O'Reilly, and then he, is so CNN going to put him on as a contributor? Is the Young Turks going to put him on? I'm kidding. But
option number three.
Option number,
TOTnetwork.com/go.
I think if I were him, and we've seen it from other people, I think that the best option for him probably is to take the Glenn Beck route and just establish something independent, your own little online network or a podcast or whatever. He can rope in a couple of advertisers still like him. He can sell gold or disaster seeds or something like that, make a bunch of money.
I think that's what got him in trouble in the first place, disaster seeds.
And then he doesn't have to worry about what he says at that point. I think that there's still stupid conservative money to be thrown at that sort of venture. I think that that's the safest bet. It's not necessarily a permanent bet. He can always turn that into going back into the mainstream media possibly. But I think that, and that's easy to set up. I think that that's most likely.
Option 4. President of the United States.
Well, no. But there is an option 4 that you alluded to earlier in the show. So let me just knock down option 2 and option 3 real quick. Option 2 was cable network. I agree with you, David, that oftentimes with well-known people, there's a moment of probation, a timeout that you get, and they're like, but come on, let's keep it real. We're all friends here. So after you serve your timeout, you can come back in doing something else. With O'Reilly, that is pretty tough.
Some try, like Anthony Weiner. They try to come back, but they realize we don't want him back.
Yeah, and so especially because those guys, Bill O'Reilly is not in their cocktail circuit. They don't know him that well. They know the Jay Carneys. They even know the Anthony Wieners. He was in their cocktail circuit. And so, but with O'Reilly, I think that's tougher. And plus, he's got a giant ego. And plus, he was making over $20 million a year. For him to be a contributor anywhere else, I think is such a big step down. And so I think it's very unlikely. Option C of starting your own online stuff. There's a number of problems. Number one, the average age of his audience, and I'm not kidding about this, was 72 years old.
I think that was a few years ago.
So yes, by now it might be 74. So for those you to find out that 72-year-old audience online, where, on YouTube? Okay, good luck, brother. Oh, please come compete with us online. Please, Bill. Okay, it would be a wonderful demolition of Bill O'Reilly. I would love to embarrass him online.
Okay, what about Sirius? Something like that.
What about a run for the Senate in New York?
So, okay, so I'm gonna get to that's option 4 again.
Wow.
So in terms
mine is option D. We're switching back and forth letter number.
Okay, so in terms of the online or radio, okay, radio, remember he had a big radio show and it actually sucked. It fared very poorly and he got killed by Rush Limbaugh. They were on at the same time and it eventually got canceled because of poor ratings. Even on deeply conservative stations, he was only on conservative stations, he still got mauled. So he's not good at radio. Online is comical. I hope he makes that mistake. I told you, look, these guys don't know what they're doing. Glenn Beck came in, I'm gonna conquer online. And most of Washington and New York still believe Glenn Beck when he makes up these fantastical numbers about the audience he has or the subscribers he has. Nobody's ever verified any of it. And the guy makes it up after being on his gyroscope. Now there's finally reports out, yeah, it turns out he's an idiot, doesn't know what he's doing. It's on the brink of collapse, right? So O'Reilly, I doubt he's gonna do that. Now, David's onto something. So could he run for office after Trump? I mean, Trump's a serial sexual harasser and he's president of the United States. Maybe, right? And he's got enough name recognition. Brand name is the most important thing in politics. You go to a deeply conservative place. I mean, New York's gonna be super tough, but you move down.
But here's the thing, in New York, that Republican Party, if we're really gaming this out, that Republican Party is desperate for anybody. I mean, they were the ones who backed Carl Palladino, who was way out there. Like,
he makes
the
Bill O'Reilly worse.
Right, so if you're the New York Republican Party, you're like, well, hey, we got to open shots for governor, we got to open shots for US Senate, and Bill O'Reilly, you're a famous guy, you've got some money you can probably throw in, you can at least get attention. You know, I mean, I don't know, the crazier things have happened, like, for instance, Donald Trump becoming president, so who knows?
Yeah. And New York Republican Party slogan, as we know, is we'll do anything. Right. Plus, Andrew Cuomo will then make a deal with us. Okay, so finally, you mentioned it earlier, David, earlier in the show, which is replace Sean Spicer. So he does have one friend in high place, and that is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is not going to be dissuaded by any of this. He's still squarely in Bill O'Reilly's corner.
The problem with that, yeah, the problem with that is that then you risk becoming a bigger show than Donald Trump. Right? If you're Trump, you're like, I don't know if I want the show to be bigger than me.
Yeah. Plus, if he's been looking at the path that Sean Spicer has had, the reception he's had, he's been a laughingstock week after week. I don't know why, if you were Bill O'Reilly, you necessarily want to step into that. A position where you face huge pushback from the media, theoretically, being mocked roundly in the press. And what's the upside?
Yeah.
What do you get out of that?
Well, which is going to lead me back to option one in a second. But I'm amused by the idea of him going to the White House press briefings. Talking Point says.
How about if he tries to cut people's mics?
Yeah, cut his mic. Well, Trump would like that. So no, back to option one. I think if you're Bill O'Reilly, Cave's a perfectly good option.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the guy who used to own the Clippers, or Sterling, right? Dude, you have an ungodly sum of money. By now, he's accumulated well over $100 million.
It's a nice cave.
Yeah, and he's whatever, 96 or whatever Bill O'Reilly is. He's at least as old as his own audience, right? Just take a load off, dude. You know, you'll still have your, speaking of caves, your caveman audience who every once in a while come, you'll do a speech or something and they'll go, ooh, yeah, we like Bill, we still like him, go grab somebody, Bill, right?
And write more books about people dying historically.
Yeah, he was killing myself.
Oh my God.
Don't do that, Bill, don't do that.
That's a media headline for you.
Is he married? Is there he got divorced.
Yeah, and very publicly
all right, got it.
disgraced.
Sorry, I'm behind in my.
The kid stuff was pretty rough there too.
Yeah.
Was that over the falafel thing, the loofah?
That was among the issues. That's right. Okay. And he still kept sexually harassing people even after the divorce, or maybe he thought after the divorce, what do I got to lose, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so his job apparently, and a lot. So bottom line is, Bill, you have unjustly made at least over $100 million. Call it a day. Yeah. Okay, we're done with you, and just drift off into the sunset, because any attempt at a comeback is going to be deeply embarrassing. I guarantee it for you, and in fact, I'll help to make that happen. Okay, so or make our day. Try a comeback. Young Turks membership creates independent media.
Believe me.
No ads.
Believe me.
All the shows.
Believe me.
On demand.
Believe me.
Support independent media.
Believe me.
It's awesome, tremendous. You'll love it.
Believe me.
And by the end, you'll be thinking,
you know, I'm like a smart person.
tytnetwork.com/join.